Standing by with Chris Wojcik, and he is going to be representing B Team Jiu-Jitsu. The last time I saw you was in Austin, Texas. You were getting ready to teach a class. So how has the regimen been in the lead up to CJI 2?
It's kind of just like another day. We have kind of our routine. It's like there's never real, like there are periods of like super intense training here and periods where it's like kind of lighter, but it's never really like easy, but we're definitely starting to ramp up. Really the last 3 weeks, I would say it's been really kind of picking up the intensity. Now Nicky is like kind of running a lot of the coaching, which has been really helpful for me, like doing a lot of like specific skills for everybody involved. So like helping us work on weaknesses. So training's been really good.
Yeah, and I got to speak with one of your teammates, Ethan, earlier today. And I thought you guys had already started the process of building out the slanted walls, but is that still in the works on who's deciding who's going to do what?
I haven't heard nothing about slanted walls yet, but I'm assuming one day that I'm just going to come in the gym and they're going to just be slanted walls. Because that was how it was last year. It was like we never talked about it, and then one day we just showed up and there were slanted walls. So
yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be something that you guys will have to practice on. I know you've gotten plenty of experience in the team formats. Saw you at Polaris 31, and similar in the fact that you don't know who exactly you're going to get next. So how was that experience at Polaris 31 representing the North American squad?
Team events are like, they're kind of my favorite thing right now. Like I'm doing AIGA in Kazakhstan in like 2 weeks, and then CJI obviously in August. So just like a lot of team events. They're kind of trendy right now. I had Polaris in January, like you said. They're really fun. They're all super different. Like AIGA is more of like a dual meet. Polaris was kind of its own, like kind of like a modified quintet, and then CJI is like more traditional quintet. But I do like some of the kind of the changes that you've made, because a lot of the quintets that I've done in the past were like quintet and then EBI overtime, and I think that it's cool that you guys have got kind of built like your own kind of way of doing it. So I'm like really excited for the team format.
Yeah, the team aspect definitely brings that energy, and it's definitely going to be felt in the Thomas and Mack Arena. I know you were participating in ADCC that weekend, but did we get to see you in the Thomas and Mack Center on the Sunday?
No, because so CJI was Friday, Saturday, and ADCC was Saturday, Sunday. And so my
on the Saturday.
It was like, okay, well, we'll go compete on Saturday. And I was like, if I don't do well at ADCC, we'll go over and, go to CJI and have a good time. But I ended up making day 2 of ADCC. So we had, I watched it all on my phone from the hotel room, unfortunately. So I'm excited for the vibe, because everybody last year just talked about how the vibe on day 2 was crazy. So that's just what I'm looking forward to.
Yes, and you got to at least watch it live and free on YouTube, which is such a big part. Craig really wants to grow the sport as much as he can, and you've seen probably some of the banter online of him warning fighters to not get involved in really exclusive contracts that make them not able to participate. But we also know that Chris Wojcik just signed up for an exclusive contract. So congratulations. When is the wedding going to be?
Oh, the wedding will be next April in California. So we're going to look at venues next week, or this week. No, sorry, like Thursday. So yeah, that's the only exclusive contract I'm signing.
That is so amazing. Congratulations to you two. And I thought the video was so cute. Someone was able to capture it. And I think that's amazing. And it probably really helps at this point of your career. Like, you want to be on a routine. You want to have someone that's supporting, and also having the backing of the team that you have. So let's kind of go through what we got going on. Ethan Krellinston at 66, Joseph Chen at 77, and then yourself at that 88 spot. So tell me a little bit about having those 3 positions filled out by you guys.
I mean, Ethan is, I think, one of the most dynamic guys in the world. He's like one of, like, for a 66 kilogram guy, he's one of the strongest and most athletic 66 guys in the division. So he's a guy he can win a match against bigger guys, which is a huge thing to have for a smaller guy in this format. I think Joseph is similar. Joseph is like, I just don't see anybody like being able to submit Joseph. I think he's the hardest person to do things to, like hard to take down. It's hard to pass his guard. It's hard to submit him. It's hard to score on him. So I think just having a guy like that at 77, which 77 is going to be, I think, like if you look at probably all the weight classes and you look at the guys at each weight, 77 is going to have the most like decorated and I think like talented athletes for each team. Like you're gonna have like, you'll have like Dante or like Rotolo or some the guys like this will be at 77, or I think maybe not PJ. PJ I think is 88. But like you're gonna have like guys at 77 who are gonna be some of the best guys on their team. And so for us to have a guy like Joe as our 77 puts us at that weight class. I think we've got the best guy.
Yeah, and you had to face him at Polaris as well. So I know you guys are always probably putting in work on the B team mats. And now you guys even took advantage of the wild card with Victor Hugo. So when that decision was made, was it kind of like a team decision, or did you kind of just hear about it and you're like, hell yeah, we'll take Victor Hugo?
There was like some whispers for a while, but then once they started coming in the room, I was like, oh, it's definitely going to happen. So Victor's been training. Like it's a wild card, but he's training with us a lot. It's not like he's just showing up for the tournament and representing B team. Like he's going to be training with us for the majority of the CJI camp. So like it's just like another guy to have in the room. And we always have so many tough guys. So to have a guy like Victor with us is just like to have Nikki Rod not be the biggest guy is crazy.
Yes, that is definitely going to be a key element, especially with the quintet format and not knowing who you could potentially get next. What is your experience when it comes to the absolute divisions? I know when we think back to PGF, you had a big match, the finals against Ryan Aiken. So you kind of know what it feels like to go up against some of those really big guys. But does that kind of like maybe not your favorite thing to do, but you'll do it if you have to?
I enjoy like the challenge of going against the bigger guys. So yeah, I've gone against Ryan like a bunch of times at PGF. I also went against Kyle Bame, who was, I think, the biggest guy in PGF that season. So like I competed and we had a really close match. So like I think against big guys, I always tend to do pretty well just because stylistically I'm like kind of more like nimble and like bendy. So like makes me difficult to submit, at least in against a bigger guy. And then against the smaller guys, I'm able to kind of switch roles and like be the big guy and try to apply the pressure. So I'm kind of like, I'm at 88 and I'm in the middle spot, and it's kind of, I think, good because I can kind of fight like a small guy, and I can also fight like in a style that is problematic for bigger guys.
Yeah, and it's definitely nice to just focus on the strategy and the skill set for jiu-jitsu. What is your level of tuning out all of the drama that kind of goes on in the jiu-jitsu world? Because I know Craig is kind of going a little head-to-head with the UFC right now, and we've definitely seen a lot of B team performances on Fight Pass Invitationals in the past. So what is your kind of impression on the situation?
Yeah, I've definitely been way more involved in the drama stuff this year. Like even the UFC, I think I'm allowed to say the UFC reality show, I was going to be on it, but then when they threw out the exclusive contract, it was like just didn't make sense anymore. And I think that they lost a lot of people by throwing exclusive contracts in like they're offering good money, but like CJI is offering like the most money, so it's and the biggest stage and like such a unique experience. So like as an athlete, it's like for me, I always want to chase the biggest stage possible. There was a video I saw where Craig called like CJI like a Super Bowl type event, and I think that's kind of exactly what it is. It's a Super Bowl, and it's like you don't want to miss the Super Bowl because you're not allowed to compete in it. So like for me, it was like I just try to focus on what I'm doing. I focus on training mostly, but I'm always thinking about like what is the best opportunity that I can get for myself.
And are you particularly happy now too that it was CJI versus ADCC, but now it looks like they're aligning and you won't get a conflict like CJI and ADCC on the same weekend as far as we know, but I'm sure ADCC is still high on the priority list for you.
Yeah, so so I took top 4 at the last ADCC, so I should be good for the next one, I think. So plan will be to do ADCC next year. And then, maybe we can do CJI next year too, depending on what the divisions look like or if it works out. But like, having the opportunity to compete at this level on this stage with all these, like the guys who I like grew up watching, when I was like a 19-year-old blue belt, now those are my competition. So it's like kind of just a dream come true for me. So ADCC, CJI, whatever, just like being a part of these professional events is what I really look forward to.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome to see the handshake post that he did, 16-man tournament for CJI 3, but we have CJI 2 to worry about. I do want to bring up that you said with the UFC contracts, you were originally supposed to be part of UFC BJJ, such a miss not having you on there. And I know the way they're branding it is like the 16 best athletes in the world, and I feel like that can't really that can't really be proven as true just if you look at some of the accolades. And I guess one of the reasons is because of those exclusive contracts that they were just offering to everyone. That kind of surprises me that they would offer exclusive contracts to everyone, because I feel like that would be really expensive.
From my understanding, it's an exclusive contract if you win the show. So like I could have gone to the show and like purposely lost and I would have been okay, but that just felt like weird signing up to do a competition that my objective was to like not win, So it was like a kind of a weird situation, the whole thing. And it was also, the communication was very poor. So I was like, I didn't know like that it was really exclusive, or like that CJI, like, cause I know some exclusive contracts are like exclusive, but you can do CJI, so they're like exclusive, not exclusive, but like, it was like not clear to me until like kind of late in the game. And then, I was already like booked for CJI. I was already booked for AIGA. Like I've been talking to who's number one for other matches. So it's like trying to do, there's like been so many moving parts, and it's been like kind of frustrating, like as an athlete, because like people are always trying to like get you to do their show, which is like a good problem to have. Not everybody gets to have that problem, but it's also like, sometimes it can be difficult when like one person's offering this, one person's offering this, and you're trying to figure out what the best opportunity is. And there's also kind of this added pressure of like, if you don't sign this contract, we're not going to want to book you ever again.
Yeah, that kind of ultimatum type of standard is definitely a lot of pressure. And I love how one of Craig's biggest motivations in doing all of this, and he even denying exclusive contracts, is to kind of protect the next generation of grapplers. So we're so excited that you're going to be part of CJI too. We're so happy that you were part of ADCC last year, and then this upcoming year, you're going to have a great showing as well. But when it comes to CJI too, in this team aspect, what is the key to victory for B Team?
The key to B Team's victory at CJI 2, so there's a few keys. All of these team events are, it's very much like I've done quite a few quintet events, and I know that like the submission is the most important thing, right? So like for us at CJI 2, like one, like submission defense is essential, and then two, like all of us, I think, have like spots where we can submit anybody, and so having the ability to take the match to the spot that is going to give us the best chances to win. So this is like a lot of the stuff that Nicky's been working with us in the room, is like the kind of the skills that are going to give us the ability to take the match where we need to take it in order to get the result that we need to get. So I think just one, like obviously having your defense solid, not getting submitted if you have to fight like a Kynan or a giant guy is essential. And then the next thing would be having the ability to finish in the spots where you can finish. Because if a guy like me as an 88 guy can take out a plus 99 for another team, that's like a huge step in advancing in that tournament. And like same with like someone like Joseph. Like if Joseph can take out a 99 or a plus 99 on, one of the other teams, that's going to be like a huge advantage as the rounds go on. So that's kind of my thought process, or this early on at least.
And it's definitely so nice to hear that Nicky Ryan is staying involved during his knee recovery process. Is this kind of foreshadowing that he might be the coach, or I know there was some speculation it might be Dima. Is there any updates there?
So Dima will be there. I think he's coming in July. I think they're going to be working together. This is my understanding.
Very fun. Well, that is a dream team right there. If Chris Wojcik and the B team goes home with that $1 million, how are you spending your share of $1 million?
Well, I got to pay for a wedding regardless. So that's
a good way to spend it.
That and maybe a car or something. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. I literally am just only thinking about the competition and the like, just doing my part, because it's a team thing. So I'm like, I want to be like, make sure that I'm doing everything that I got to do.
I love that. And I saw your fiance post, you guys have summer goals, and yours, Chris, is to look like you're on steroids.
That is, yeah. The more steroid accusations that I get, I want like a post on Reddit, someone saying that I've gone over to the dark side. That's my goal for the summer.
There is no way that Chris is going to come out of here natty looking at all. When it comes to the Grappler's Diary, I know you were doing a lot of work with Flow Grappling at one point. Are you kind of taking a step back with some of that just because you're going to be so focused on competition? Or if not, where can people find some of the recent stuff you've been doing?
Yeah, so I do like every other month article for Flow Grappling. I did a weekly series before ADCC, and it was like kind of a fun little thing. This year has been crazy. I've been doing I did Polaris. I've been on 9 trips for jiu-jitsu already this year, and like most of them are like a week long. So it's like I've been traveling a lot. So like right now, not doing as much writing for Flow. I'm doing my own stuff. Like I do my weekly newsletter, the Grappler's Diary on Instagram. I have my book, A Grappler's Diary. So I have all that stuff that's always going. And when I'm home and doing training camp, I find that like that's when I actually get the most writing done, because I just have a set routine. As long as I'm not traveling, I'll have like when I'm traveling, the writing schedule kind of gets a little chaotic because it's hard to find time like in hotels and airports. But like probably during the lead up to CJI, will probably be like a lot of writing, because it's like I'll like wake up, I'll do my writing, and then I'll go train, and then I'll come home and then maybe do some editing or whatever, and then go train again. So like when I'm in camp, the routine is really set. So there will probably be a greater amount of output. But when I'm traveling, things are crazy.
Well, we'll hope that you get through this Kazakhstan trip. I know that is a long one. Can try to stay on the routine as much as possible, because August 30th and 31st is going to be here before you know it. Thank you so much for the time, Chris.
Thank you.